Hi, good evening, guys. We have Ms Sylvie Fodor with us. She is currently an executive director with an international visual industry called CEPIC. CEPIC is based out of France, but it's also registered. I think she's working out of Berlin, Germany. Is that right, Sylvie?
Yeah, that's correct. My office, physical office is in Berlin, yeah.
And I know Sylvie for past 16, 17 years. I meet her at least once a year with the wonderful event she hosts. She and her team hosts all around Europe. So I've known her for past 16, I think 17 years now. So welcome, Sylvie. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Avinash.
Yeah,
thank you for having me here.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear, what do you think about the current situation with COVID? And let's just talk in a general way first. How has life changed for you? Not talking on the business side, but, on the personal side for you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like for everybody, it's a very, very strange time. Very quiet on the one hand, because we're all locked down more or less. In Berlin, we're lucky that we can still go out, and with two people can go out together. Mm-hmm. So I can go to my office by foot. So I change between my office and my home, so that's fine on this. Mm-hmm. It's very quiet on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's also very intense. Yeah. Because there's with this crisis, there's a lot of new issues coming up that we didn't have to deal with before. It's really not the routine we have to deal with. Mm. And we need to prepare for the future. And there's a lot of uncertainty. It's very difficult to predict anything. We don't know how long this crisis will last. So, if we do a financial plan for how many months, lots of insecurity. So quiet and intense. Both of it at the same time. Yeah. But it's fine. It's fine somehow.
It's a new life. We got to learn. Unfortunately, we have to learn it in the hard way. I know we were supposed to meet in the month of May at one of the CEPIC events. It was in Spain, and unfortunately, you guys had to postpone that. I hope it's just a postponement and not a cancellation, because it's one of the best events for the stock photo industry. What are your takes on that? In terms of
well, first, I think we were right to postpone. That's the first thing, because when we did it, we were actually hesitating. It was March, and at this time, there was as much as uncertainty as there is now. And it could have got better by the end of March, but it would have been just too much. So we decided to postpone. It was the right decision. That's one thing. Now, the end of September, it's the last weekend of September in Mallorca. It's at the moment I'm talking, considering that many countries in Europe are slowly starting to end the lockdown, one thing. I think Austria started, and now Germany is continuing, in France and Italy will, and also Spain. I think it's like beginning of May. So slowly each country is getting out of the lockdown, getting out of the situation. Mm-hmm. I think we're still good. It just depends what's going to come afterwards, maybe at the end of. So I think. We still think we can hold it in September, and at least it was the right decision that we've done.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect decision on you guys to take that call very early, so that people, either if they made their reservations, they could cancel it. So it was a fantastic decision on your side to give an early notice to all the people who were ready to come for the CEPIC event, the CEPIC Congress. And I hope we do get to meet in September. A lot of people I've talked to from the industry have mentioned, well, if it does happen in September, they would love to get out, because everybody is locked down. Yeah. So it's something to look forward to meet your friends, your colleagues, from the industry.
Yeah. I think people will want to talk to each other, and it's a business event. So I know we're having all these virtual conferences, but somehow at one point we need to meet each other, right?
Absolutely. Have beer together. That's more important. So, but from business point of view, now the next question is more on the business point of view. You have a lot of members from the stock agencies who are part of CEPIC organization, the members of CEPIC organization. Have you heard anything from them in terms of, are they feeling less confident with the way things are going in the business? What are the trends you are seeing on your side?
Yeah. So I think it's a very, very differentiated situation. You cannot say, oh, it's terrible. Everybody is going terrible, or it's okay. It's actually, if you take a percentage. So okay, I have to say we have. I have to say something about our membership. Maybe we have our members are national associations. So they, like in Germany, we have the VVPA, which is a member. They have like, I think 80 members. And then in the UK, we have BAPLA, and BAPLA have like 200 members. And then in France, you have a number of associations, etc. So some of these associations have surveyed their members, right? Asking them in confidence, how are you doing? So we have some anecdotal, for me still anecdotal evidence of how the market is doing. And what we can see is that, well, it's when we ask them how is your sales, the response is the response we got was between 10% less sales compared to 10% less sales compared to last year to 100% less sales compared to last year. Wow. Right? So that's a lot. In average, it's maybe 40%. But as I'm saying, it's anecdotal, right? It's still difficult to draw conclusions, general conclusions for the whole industry. On the other hand, we also hear from a couple of agencies which actually are doing quite well, because since images are being sold online, it's still possible to download the images.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think also you have to see that it will be dependent on which country you are in, and dependent on which financial aids you will get from the states. And some will be stronger than others. For example, in all EU countries, there's something called short-time works, which is the possibility not to fire people. That's what they do in the United States, and they will fire everybody, so everybody will be unemployed, but to put them on leave for a certain time, and they get their money paid by the agency, the employment agency. So it provides some stability, right? So dependent on whether these schemes exist or not, there will be more visibility for the agency to look, to be able to bridge this couple of months that we have in front of us.
Yeah, makes sense. So is there a stimulus package given by the German government to companies?
Yeah, yes. Some. I mean, almost all EU states have stimulus packages, but same thing. Lots of huge differences between these packages. Germany pulled like, I don't even remember the figure because it's so high, like 100 billion or something. It's really a very high figure, and so it depends on which country you are from. Also, the EU will coordinate help between all these member states, and will put some. So that will, of course, help also those businesses in the EU. That's true. Yeah.
So has there any mandate been given by the government to say you have to pay the salaries, or it's up to the organizations? In India, well, the government is saying that it's not mandate to pay everybody, but from a human point of view, humanitarian point of view, you should be paying all your employees. And there's a lot of debate about, where is the money going to come from? A lot of people are working on very thin margins, but that's not the case in EU. That's what I understand, right?
Yeah, because it's structured. Yes, there is a structured offer on, a work scheme and, state aid. So you don't need. I mean, if you don't need to fire your employees if you can avoid it. That's the first thing, and actually you're not allowed to. I mean, you're not allowed to unless there is really a very strong reason for it.
Yeah. And do you see any of these agencies probably going bankrupt during this time? Like you said, there are companies
At
who
the moment, I haven't heard of any cases. I did publish something recently. I haven't heard of any cases of, no, I haven't heard any cases of picture agencies going bankrupt. There's some newspapers, that's the client side, because you have to look
yeah,
how the client side is doing as well, right? So
yeah,
the clients will have the book publishers or the media,
yeah,
right? And that's what we hear, is that the media, they are all cutting off staff.
yeah,
They actually, we need media more than ever, but still they're under difficulties because they rely on advertising income, and the advertising income has diminished
yeah, yeah,
significantly.
yeah,
So that will hurt the agencies
right.
directly. That will also hurt their clients, so the media, and especially the media. So they're cutting there. And I've heard at least of one case of a newspaper completely closing, but amongst picture agencies, I haven't heard any cases. Then on the client side, you also have the book publishers. So from the book publishers side, the problem is that bookstores, there's no more sale of books taking place at the moment, so it's reducing their turnover, and quite obviously they will have less money for the rest of the year to buy pictures. But that's the issue. You have to look at the period just now, during the lockdown, what is happening.
Yeah.
And then we also have to look at the next couple of months.
Yes.
How will it affect sales during the summer? For example, summer is usually a very quiet period. People go on holidays everywhere. So the question is, will there be any summer holidays in Europe? That's something that people are asking themselves, or will it be a normal working period to catch up with the slowdown of the spring? Yeah. So that's, all these factors will have an impact on the sales in the next couple of months.
Yeah, yeah. Well, people in India are at least very eager to go to work. Nobody wants to stay at home.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to work, and they've realized that work is their first love now. Everybody wants to the realization of 5-6 weeks. People are saying, "Oh, we love you, we love the family, but we love our work too much too. We need to go there." So
we love the children, but
work is work. So everybody is realizing that. And these stock agencies, ideally, they get these images from photographers, right, around the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there any support system set up? Do you know anything about a support system set up for photographers during this time?
Yeah, they have. So coming from the States, what you have for photographers are also packages for freelancers.
Yeah.
So a couple of countries have set that up. So Germany, France, UK, the usual suspects. So them. And then you have funds for photographers. I published a couple of them. I think I should publish it on the CEPIC website. But in any case, it was in the CEPIC newsletters for photographers. Not sufficient, quite obviously. But for photographers, it's exactly the same for picture agencies. The situation is very differentiated. If you, for example, a photographer who is specialized in medical photography, you have a good market there. Yeah. So it just depends. It's also a very differentiated situation that we have here.
I interviewed one photographer from US yesterday, and he mentioned that we are, in New York, he said we are in complete lockdown, but I'm using he's using his own time to go back to the drawing board and enhance his own skills of how to do better, how to do the workflow. He said once the lockdown ends, I'm a much better version than I was before the lockdown. So they're using their time to literally enhance their own skills. So which is good.
Exactly.
So that's good part. Yeah. So
of course. Yeah, if the lockdown, if the lockdown lasts too long, we'll all be in trouble. But if it's limited period, it's manageable. It's really, he's right to be so proactive.
Yeah. And the last question, of course, is I would love to do another session A, because I wanted to keep this short and get to the point. Regarding the EU as well, is there an organization for creative professionals where they can go and apply and get more help? Do they need to do it individually, or do they need to go through an organization?
No, I mean, so at the moment, I mean, CEPIC, we represent them at this EU level. You were part, we represent the photo agencies and photographers at EU level. And as CEPIC, I've signed in the last couple of weeks a number of letters addressed to the Commission, to the European Parliament, to all kinds of authorities there, to ask them not to forget the creative and cultural industry. So these were joint letters that we signed together with the film industry, with the book publishers, with the music industry. We've signed all these letters together. So up to 200 organizations signed these letters, simply to ask them not to forget the cultural and creative industries when they bundle their packages. Okay, but once these packages are bundled from the EU, usually, and that's a problem of the EU, that's why you never really see what they do, is because this money will be distributed through the national states.
Yeah.
So if you're a German photographer or photo agency, you will not go directly to Brussels. You will have to go to Berlin, right, to an agency there. Right. The money may come from a common pot, but unless there's a small EU flag that you on the side, you will not know it. But that's how it, as with an intermediate level. But in any case, we're very active there, and we want to make sure that there is specific sums are allotted just for the creative community.
Yeah. I know, and I know personally.
Not just for tourism, because you for flights, tourism, gastronomy, all of these people, they will be taken care of. And so we want to make sure, do not forget the creative and cultural sectors.
As long as Sylvie is there, I don't think they will ever forget. I know what you've done with one of the big search engine companies. So what kind of work you've done there, but you really appreciate your time and effort towards making sure that all the agencies feel safe, and the way you and your team have handled in the past as well. So really appreciate your time here, Sylvie. I wanted to keep this short. We are in 20 minutes of our conversation, and I would, if there are any questions, I would certainly like to do another one with you. Maybe once I take up your time on that, and send you those questions up front so that you can prepare on that as well. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sylvie.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Take care now.
Okay, good. Thank you, Avinash.
Take care.
Okay, I hope to see you in September, right?
I will. I really will. I'll be the first one to get out of.
We'll drink a tricria together. Okay. Bye.
Okay, now, bye. Thank you. Bye.